Good morning. Let me see who is here. Lauren, good morning. Great to have you here. And I love when you say that. Good morning, beautiful people. Lynn, good morning. Lynn, I still have 3 tomato plants. It's crazy. I pulled tomatoes off of my bush 2 weeks ago that were delicious, like regular little cherry tomatoes. Super delicious. And then I have more growing. I have a couple that are ready to be harvested, even through the cold, even through all that rain. I'm telling you, it's crazy. 3 plants are still left. So that is unbelievable. Eleanor and Stan, I think it says Eleanor and I don't know if that's just to keep us guessing, but I'm pretty sure that means Stan is there too. So great to have you guys here as well. Thank you for joining me. So, yeah. If there's anything in particular you guys want to share with me, anything that's going on, you could let me know and chat with me before I go back there. Michael, you're here as well. Great. Nice to have you here. So, all right. If there isn't anything here, then, all right, So I've been mentioning this a couple of times in the past few weeks. There's a lot of research coming out on fascia. And in the yoga world, in one of the communities I'm in, there's a program right now that I'm learning from that is really amazing. The research is amazing. Today, what they were saying is that there's mice that were studied and they stretch them. And I was trying to visualize how they would stretch the muscles of the mice, but maybe they have them extend their leg for something. I don't know. And what they found is that there's a relationship between tightness in the body and disease. And in particular, the study was for cancer. And there may be a strong relationship to tightness in the body and all the degenerative aspects, whether that's even the metabolic conditions, but also we know chronic pain from tightness in the body and the especially the joints. So they were saying that the 2 main areas to focus on for any of us who are aging, so any of us that are over 35, except Tom Brady. I always say that because he's crazy. But if you watch the way he lives a really healthy life. The 2 things that we need to focus on is hydration and range of motion. And when we stretch our body, we are actually hydrating our tissues. So let's let today be about moisture and mobility and really moving our body. And one thing I'd like to say, and what I've learned in this program, is that it's not necessarily about, let me stretch my pectoral and isolating one area. It's about movement in the whole body. So I always say this, that you are perfect as you are. Whatever range of motion you have is perfect. It's exactly what it should be. Don't get caught up in, oh, I can't look like that. Oh, I don't do it like that. Let all that go. Let all the what you don't have, whatever your range of motion is, accept what it is, be okay with that, and know that you're here to keep moving. The other thing that they were saying is that you need to switch it up, and that you shouldn't do the same thing over and over. And that's one thing I try to do, is I try to do something different each time I get on my mat to teach. I try to do something different and share something different. So that is what I'd like you to do onto your mat, into your practice today, is that we are here to make our body moist and mobile. And especially in our joint capsules, getting all of that, the fluid secretion, so that we can be pain-free and have a great range of motion. And that will lead to less pain and inflammation in the body and help so many things. So we're gonna start the domino of health, pushing the first few, movement and moisture. And then that's gonna translate to less inflammation, less pain, less and all that. Okay. Perfect. So let me see who else arrived, because I know that some other people came. Stevie, good morning. Stevie, I wonder if you're sore. I did teach a class before our class yesterday, So my glutes are sore. Stevie's in my bone health lifestyle course, and yesterday was strength. So wonder if you're sore. And then Kathy, oh, so good to have you here. So I'll visualize you all, and you guys can do the same. Not all of you took a class together on Wednesday, but a lot of you here did. So I'm just going to visualize the room where you're all located and just remember that, because one day, again, we'll be in physical contact, but for now, we can't be together physically. So for now, we are virtual, and it's better to have virtual than to have nothing. So perfect. For today's practice, I'd like you to have something to sit on, because we are going to do some seated, and I'm going to do seated today in a chair and on the floor, because we are sitting, and I'd like to give us options in a seated position that we could do hopefully daily. Hopefully you learn stuff here and you take it off the mat so you actually start moving every day. And something to sit on. So it could be a pillow, it could be a bolster, it could be folded up blankets or a towel. A block, at least one block, and maybe even two. So I have two because there's something that I want to do. And for those of you with wrist issues, if you had something to put your elbows on that was elevated, so maybe that could be even pillows if you don't have blocks. So if you could get at least one, if not two blocks, and then a strap. I'd like you to have a strap, please. So go ahead and get those items. And a blanket is always a great thing to have. And it could be beach towels, or it could be regular blankets from your house. So let me see, someone else arrived. I want to see, welcome them. Okay. Rosemary, nice to have you. Perfect. All right. Well, I'm just a little. Okay, good, Stevie. All right. All right, ladies and men, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let's take our blanket and take it long like this. So don't have it on the narrow. I don't want you to be narrow with this. I want you to open up your blanket so it's really long. And we're going to roll up our blanket into a column or a tube to do a little bit of spinal work. You know, the spine is one of the whole joint complexes that we really should focus quite a bit on. And so this is going to be a way to do that. Some of you, and actually probably a lot of you, will actually need another blanket by the top. So let me show you what that would look like. So if we're going to do another blanket at the top, it could be a little bit of a more narrow, I mean, not as narrow of a fold, a little wider fold. And that will go to the top where your head and neck will be. So for some of you, that may be something you need. I don't need that. And this really is a matter of what's going on in your thoracic spine in terms of posture. So depending on where you are posturally, you may, if that's what you need, go ahead and get that. And if you have osteoporosis, I want you to come to the side and bring yourself down onto the blanket on the coming through the side like this and then rolling over. And then if you do not have osteoporosis, we're all starting with our tushies on the floor. So your tushy is not on the blanket. Your tushy is on the floor. And if you do not have osteoporosis, you can articulate your spine and place one vertebra at a time onto the blanket. And I like to teach this because this is something that anybody can do at home. You could do this with blankets. It doesn't have to be the bolsters and some of the props that we have available to us in a yoga class. This can be something that you could find at home. And so having that along the spine, and keep your knees bent at first. This will be a little easier for most of you to have knees bent. And then feet are wider than the body. So the feet are wider than the body, the knees are bent, and you let the knees towards each other. This should feel really nice. So put your legs in the position where you actually feel the relaxation part of this. Wider than the body and the knees fall deeper. So depending on what your body is going on in your body, find where that becomes comfortable. And then for those of you that need to have something behind your head, have something behind your head. Try to feel the center of your head. So right
below the bridge of the nose. Try to feel that that is where you have the greatest pressure in the blanket or pillows or whatever it is you have behind your head. And then let's take our arms out to the side. Let's do a little bit of mobility first to get the muscles to be okay with this position. Palms are up towards the sky. And try to keep your wrists and elbows in alignment with each other. So see if you're able to do that. And then moving your arms up and down, and start to go a little higher with this movement. You'll feel a pull a little bit lower now in the belly area or below the ribs. The eyes are closed. I'd like you to feel your way through things. If we could go into our bodies and develop the feeling aspect of movement so that you can determine what is a safe range of motion for you. What is range of motion currently? And then you may start to notice that you're able to gain a greater range of motion. And then in a preventative sense, this can help you realize where you're lacking or you're slowing down, like what you're avoiding in your body. Because when we do avoid movement, we allow tightness to come in. And when tightness comes in, it becomes hard and harder to move when that happens. So it's very important to keep mobility in your body. Try to let the elbows come down. Now let's add breath. Inhale when the arms go overhead. It's like jumping jack arms. Exhale slowly. Let your elbows slowly come down towards your waist. Go slow here so you feel everything along the way. All the places of tension. Inhale to rise. Fingertips can touch above your head if that's an available range of motion for you. And then exhale, elbows come down towards the body. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more, inhale up. Stay there. See if your arms can go on the floor, backs of the hands touching the floor. And don't worry if they can't. If they can't, take your arms wider away from your body. See if you could get your fingernails to touch or the backs of the hands. And then let's do a little here. Inhale, hands come together. Exhale, keep the arms up above you. Go a little wider. A different angle for the shoulder, the upper arm bone that's in the shoulder joint. And so a different angle to actually get a little bit of mobility. Make this a moving meditation. So go slow and match your breath with the movement. As you inhale, let your arms separate and go wider. As you exhale, let your hands come together. Inhale. Exhale. And then one more. Inhale, arms are open. Exhale, bring your arms straight up towards the sky. Bend the elbows and squeeze your torso at the end. Inhale, arms are up. Exhale, arms come up. Bend the elbows. We're going to switch arms so one arm comes in front on one direction. Go with breath. Inhale. Exhale. Go slow. Let your arms go over as much as they can. Inhale. Eyes are closed. Notice the patterns in your body, where the tightness is. Getting nice freedom to come into the shoulders. For those of you with shoulder issues, the lower you put your arms, the easier this will be. So not letting the arm rise up too high will put less pressure in that shoulder joint. Keeping that shoulder joint mobile, it's very important. The next time you come open, stay there. Arms are to the side. That may have freed up a little range of motion for some of you. Many people tell me that they're unable to get their hands to touch the floor. And a lot of time it's because they have their hands too close to their body. And even for those with pretty limber arms, if you bring your hands closer to your body, it's a lot harder to get the hands to touch the floor. So the farther away from the body your hands go, the easier it is to get them to touch the floor. Let the jaw move back and forth. Let the mouth open really wide. Stretch your facial tissue on your face. Close your mouth. Again, open your mouth. And then let your jaw rest. Let your lips barely touch. Let the back teeth separate. Bring your awareness to your nostrils. Begin to follow the breath into your body, following the breath to the lungs. And start to deepen the breath so you feel the breath stretching your chest. You feel the stretch of the muscles as you get wider with your breath, bigger with your breath. Be in your body. Follow the breath in. Let the lungs expand. I'm going to count for an even breath. 6 on the inhale and 6 on the exhale. And I want you to keep your awareness in your body, following the breath in your body, and then allowing your awareness to go to your chest so you feel the body stretching as much as you can. So let's prepare. Exhale. And let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring your breath in all the way down to the lower lobes of the lungs, to the lower ribs on your body. And start to feel the lower ribs expand up, out to the sides, and back as you feel the lower back pressing towards the rolled up blanket behind your spine. I'm going to do another breath here. This is called Savitri Pranayama. I'm going to count 6 on the inhale, 3 to hold the breath, 6 on the exhale, and 3 to hold the breath out. Let's see if you could follow along with me when I do this. Let's prepare a big exhale. Let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, 3. Continue counting on your own. If that was too much, you could drop down to 4, inhale, 2, hold, 4, exhale, 2, hold. Directing the breath down to the lower ribs. Finishing up your last couple of rounds of Savitri Pranayama, rectangular shape breath. Finishing up your last breath. Be in your body. Come to your shoulders, the right shoulder, the left shoulder. Notice what you feel. Notice if it feels similar on one side, or if you have more of a stretch on one side versus the other. Notice if you feel anything in the front of the chest area. Notice if you feel anything in your spine. And notice if you feel anything in your neck. And again, if it's the same on both sides or if it's different. Let's take our fingers, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. You could take your legs to straight if that's okay for your body. Take your arms overhead in a full body glove stretch. You could take one at a time, reaching one wrist farther up towards the back of the wall, stretching the shoulder joint in that side body. Do the same thing with the other side. And then go ahead and bend your knees. Let's slowly roll off of your prop, roll onto your side and cradle your head in your arm. Noticing what you're feeling, what you're experiencing. Let's take the hand onto the floor. We want to reach with our shoulder to lift up, not our head, and push away strongly from the floor. So I want you to use your pushing muscles. So begin to push the elbow and the hand into the floor. Let your head look down towards your hand as you push yourself up and away from the floor, feeling that muscular strength that's used in the shoulder and arm area. And then let's take
our props. That's a pretty long, deep stretch, so hopefully that felt pretty good in your body. So we're gonna begin on the floor first to do a little core and a little spinal undulation. Then we're gonna come up to a seated position. For this, I'd like you to have a block handy. And we're gonna come down onto the floor. So again, if you have osteoporosis, so osteopenia is not as precarious with the forward flexion, but osteoporosis is. So if you do have osteoporosis, you want to come to the side when you come all the way down to the floor. And then if you do not have osteoporosis and you want to articulate your spine, you could come down by placing one vertebra on the floor at a time. And when you go slow like this, that's actually is using core muscles. So it's a great way to keep yourself mobile. And one of the ladies that practiced with me, she was very fit for her age. And she was in her early 80s and she was at the doctor's office. And when she was getting up off the table, the doctor wanted to put his hand behind her back to help her up. And she just popped herself up off the table because she was working and practicing yoga and had such a strong core. He said to her, "Wow, you are so strong." And I love that she shared that with me because it is important to keep our body strong and mobile. All right, let's come into the windshield wiper action. This is a stretch that I do often. I think it's very effective. So let's take the arms out to the side, and then you could raise the arms up if you'd like. The feet are heels on the mat, toes are off. And I'd like you to go slow at first. I'd like you to be in this part of your body with your awareness. So be in your waist and front hip area so that you feel what's happening when you move side to side, and you make sure that it's an appropriate movement for your body as you move side to side here. And then you can start getting a little bit bigger with this movement once you've brought in some mobility and some fluids into the joints and some hydration into the tissue. So one thing that I was learning in my fascia studies is that there are more receptors for stretch in the fascia than there are in the muscles. And so when we stretch, we always think about stretching our muscles. Now I want you to think about stretching the wrapping around your muscles and the wrapping that's around everything. So really getting yourself. So if we were like oranges, the pulp, the individual pulp pieces would be our muscles. And then think about pigment wrapping, think about that white stuff that's all the way around the whole globe-looking structure of an orange, and then think about the peel that's on the orange. So all of that kind of layers of wrapping in the body. The next time you come over to the left, stay there, and let's actively stretch the right side, reaching the right arm away from you. Push the right big toe edge into the floor so you can get a little bit more length in that right leg, really stretching that right side of your body. Feel it stretch. Feel the appropriateness of that. And then if you'd like to visualize water, you could visualize water squishing around through your body as you hydrate, creating more mobility in that shoulder joint, in the hip joint, stretching the ribs. Take one more breath. And yourself back up to center. Let's go to the other side. Find yourself in position and then stretch your body glove here. Stretch that big toe edge of the left foot into the floor. Really stretch, stretch, stretch. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and release. Let's take our block between our legs. Push your feet into the floor. Lift your pelvis up so that it's, actually lift your pelvis up. Take your pelvis over to the left. Pelvis goes over to the left. Block is between. Bring the knees up towards your belly. And then onto a twist. So you're going to bring your legs towards, try to keep the shoulder. For many of you, that may be a challenge. So here the block may need to out and go underneath your legs so you don't go over as far. For some of you, keeping the block between your legs may be appropriate. And for some of you, you don't feel enough stretch, so you may need to take the block out to feel a little bit more of a stretch. So do whatever feels right for you. Just wanted you to have it there in case you need it. Take the right hand on top of the left leg and keep trying to push that left shoulder blade
towards the floor. So bring your awareness right behind the heart, pressing that part of your body towards the floor. So for some of you, that may touch the floor. First, it may be hovering and you're going towards the floor. So a lot of stretch, like wringing out yourself like a rag, twisting and wringing out the water. Try to let that left arm be towards the floor, so on the floor for some of you and hovering for others. Be okay with whatever it is. And then try to get the length in that left knee that's on the top, that left leg. Feel the stretch wherever you can. And if you're feeling it excessively back, I want you to bring your awareness to this left hip and this left upper bone and push the upper leg bone away from you towards the foot part of your mat. So you have to find that in your body. You're going to lengthen your left waist, pulling the top of the left pelvis away from the bottom of the left ribs. Find that space in that left waist area and shift the stretch to a different part of your body. So find those different aspects. We come into something, our body goes into a position, and then I'm asking you to deepen this aspect here and actually make the back a little safer. So for many, this helps to keep that low back safe. Just breathe to your low ribs so you feel your belly move. Take one more breath. And then I'd like you to bring one knee up at a time here to come out. So bring one knee up at a time. That's a little safer for the low back. And then put your feet 1 foot at a time on the floor. Lift your pelvis up. Take your block between your knees. And then lift your pelvis up. Move it over to the right. And then bring the knees in. Drawing the knees in uses core strength to do that. So go slow. And then you're going to slowly, so keep the knees pretty high towards your head. If the knees are away from your body, that puts a lot more pressure on the body. So bring the knees up towards your chest and then allow the legs to go over towards the left. Go slow, find what's appropriate in your body. Again, here with the block. Do you need it at all? Do you need it on the floor? Do you need it between your legs? And then take that left hand on top of that right leg. So a pretty strong stretch in the posterior hip area, so the back of your hip. Some of you may feel it in your low back. If you do, use your belly to push back towards your spine to protect that low back. Try to get the shoulder to touch or be moving towards the floor, being okay with whatever it is for you. And then find that space in the waist. Breathing down to the low ribs or breathing to the place of tension to release. So if you breathe down to your lower ribs, you'll actually even stretch more of that lower belly area. Press that right shoulder blade towards the floor. Take one more breath. And let's bring the knee one at a time up. Put your feet onto the floor. Lift your pelvis up off the floor. Put your knees back. Take the block in between your knees and put your feet on the floor. We're going to undulate our spine. There's 26 vertebrae. 2 of them are embedded in your pelvis. 24 vertebrae to articulate here. Take the hands behind your head. Squeeze the block. Press the arms into the floor strongly and let the low back move away from the floor, but keep the tushy on the floor. Don't lift your tushy up. So when I give this guidance, people lift their tushy up because I say lift the lower back off the floor. But I want only the lower back to move away from the floor about 1 inch. And I want your tushy to stay on the floor. And I want you to feel that pressure as you rock towards the tip of your spine, which is your tailbone. Inhale, push the arms in, spine is about 1 inch away. As you exhale, begin to press the low back into the floor, point the tailbone up towards the wall across from you, and then bring the chin towards the chest, bring the elbows towards each other, and lift the upper body off the floor. If you have osteoporosis, keep your elbows out to the side, keep your nose pointing up towards the sky. Don't let your nose point down towards the block if you have osteoporosis. Then on the inhale, we lower, pressing the arms into the floor at the end of that, letting the spine come away from the floor 1 inch, the low back, but not the tailbone. And then exhale, low back presses into the floor. Find that spinal undulation, articulate that spine through breath. Inhale to lower. Exhale to rise. I'm going to do a counting, the Savitri Pranayama, the 6 inhale, 3 hold, 6 exhale, 3 hold. So let's come to a neutral position. Inhale and exhale. Begin. Actually, we inhale to lower. So we have to begin on the exhale. So begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, begin to lift yourself up off the floor. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3. Exhale, lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3. One more. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3. Stay here. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3. Let's move on to core strength. Let's take the right leg in the air. Keep the right hand behind the head. Take the left hand on top of the thigh. Inhale. As you exhale, lift your body up, slide your left hand up towards the left knee, and then rotate the trunk over towards the left knee, pointing the right elbow towards the left knee, and inhale to lower. Keep the right foot very active, flex that leg. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Last one, squeeze the block. Exhale to lift. Stay here. Little pulses as you try to reach the left hand or the left fingers up towards that left knee. And then on the inhale, let's lower, bring the hands down. Take a break here. Strengthens the quadricep, works those rotational muscles of the trunk. So strengthening rotational core muscles, which are also good for back and for posture, alignment, balance, and all that. Let's take the left hand behind the head. Take the right hand on top of the right thigh. Block is between your thighs. Bring the left leg up and flex the left leg. Press, squeeze into the block. Inhale. As you exhale, lift yourself straight up first, and then add that rotation by directing the left elbow over towards the right kneecap, and then inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale to lower. Last one. Exhale, lift. Stay here. Little pulses, trying to touch the right kneecap with the right fingertips. And then go ahead and release. Take the block out. Bring the knees into the chest. Hold on to your kneecaps. Hold on to the top of your kneecaps. And hold on like your legs are going to fall away from you, so that if you did let go, it would fall. Because I want you to try to turn off your hip flexors. And one of them is attached to the spine, the psoas. So I want you to really soften up here. Let's take our knees around in circles. And when you go out to the side, really go slow here. Feel the adductors, those inner thigh muscles stretch. It's important to keep our body limber, keeping that range of motion in the hips. And I think it's also important to have the lower body be able to move independently of the upper body and not get stuck as one unit, which is what seems to happen. Let's go the other way. Push these away from you. Let them go out. Let them come towards you. Let them come towards each other. Away from you, out, towards you, towards each other. It's a circular pattern. Go as wide as you can here. And let your legs be pretty passive, so that your hands are actually helping to direct this. And then bring yourself back to center. Take your arms straight and long. Again, turn off your legs. So shake your legs with your hands. Inhale here. Exhale, draw the knees straight in towards your chest. Let the top thighs press up against your low belly. Only go as deep as you can. Feel the low back pressing into the floor. The inhale, we straighten the legs. Let's do our Savitri Pranayama here, just the rectangle breath. Let's prepare. Take an exhale. Inhale, draw the knees towards you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. 2, 3. Inhale, straighten your arms. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. 2, 3. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. 2, 3. Let's stop. Take your hands, shake your hands if your hands are feeling tension. So I did that wrong. We're supposed to exhale and bring the knees towards the chest, because then the belly empties and you're able to come in a little deeper and get the top thighs. So can we just do a few of those, please? So bring the knees in towards your chest. Hold on with your hands. Let's prepare. Exhale. Inhale, knees move away from you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. 2, 3. Knees come towards you. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. 2, 3. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. 2, 3. Last one. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. 2, 3. Bring your arms to the side, rocking side to side. Bring yourself onto your side. And then we're going to push ourselves up and bring yourself all the way up. All right. Nice moist tissues, increasing that range of motion in the joints. So for this, I'd like you, for those of you that have wrist issues, if you have 2 blocks Then you could come onto forearms. We're going to do a little bit with the legs here and just moving the hip around, getting a little bit of hip movement here in the hip. So for some of you with wrist issues, you may want to have 2 blocks, and that's why I had those there. If you don't have wrist issues, you're okay to be on your wrists. Point your fingers are forward. So either put your arms on blocks or find this here. And then we're going to bring the leg out to the side. So it's fire hydrant. We call it fire hydrant when a dog goes, especially a male dog actually. A male dog goes to a fire hydrant to go to the bathroom. They lift their leg and up and out to the side. So I'd like us on the inhale to lift the leg up to the side. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale up to the side. Exhale back, inhale side, exhale back. One time, inhale, let your leg go to the side, let it stay here. You're lifting as high as you can in your body. And then go ahead and bring it back. Take that same leg, you're gonna inhale, lift your leg up behind you, and then exhale, bring your knee down, not to touch the floor, but down. Keep that foot flexed. And try to lift the leg straight up so the sole of the foot reaches up towards the sky, working the glute muscles here. And this is important for the positioning of your pelvis, which will translate to a lot of alignment aspects of your spine. Last one, stay there. Try to get that sole to point up towards the sky so your ankle is really flexed, your heel is reaching up towards the sky. Stay up. And then let's go ahead and bring that leg down. So not only does that strengthen the leg that we're lifting, it also strengthens the leg that we're weight bearing on. So take your other leg and you're going to inhale, reach your leg out to the side, and then bring your leg back. Out to the side, inhale. On your next one, you're going to stay open and little pulses. And then go ahead and bring that leg down. If you need to take a break, you can put it on the floor for a second. And then we're going to go into the lifting up towards the sky. So you're going to inhale, lift up. Exhale, knee comes down. Inhale. Let your neck be nice and long so the nose is pointing straight down towards the ground. Push your fingertips into the floor. And if your wrists are really killing you, you can come up onto frosted cupcake hands, letting your body weight be on your fingertips as if you were holding a frosted cupcake and you can't squish the frosting. And the next one, you're going to come up and stay up, little pulses. Sole of the foot is reaching up towards the sky. And then go ahead and come out of that. Bring yourself all the way up here. So that's a little extra goodness for lots of things, but really thinking about hip health today. So let's get something to sit on. I have a little baby pillow. It's a meditation cushion. And I have this, and it could be also, you could get a blanket, something to elevate the pelvis, because when you are elevated, that will be easier for your hips, and many people have tight hips. So I'm going to sit in a Sukhasana position. This is also good for hips, Sukhasana, because when the legs are out to the side like this is external rotation in the hip joint, so this can actually be really nice for hips. And you'll know if you have tight hips if this is you. So when the legs are pretty high here, this is an indication of some tightness in the body. And if that is the case, again, we had 2 blocks or pillows or whatever, put them underneath your knees. And when I was having hip issues and hip surgeries and my hip replacement, I had to support my left leg a lot with a block. So do whatever you need to do for your body. That's a really important thing. Do whatever you need. So we're gonna stir up, feel like we're stirring up the pot here. You're gonna take your spine and move your spine in a circular pattern. So you're gonna inhale forward and then
Take yourself over towards one side. When you begin to go towards the back, you exhale, push your belly button towards your spine, go towards the back, and then inhale to come forward. So this feels so yummy for me in the waist area and in the top of my pelvis. So we're all those muscles that attach to the top edge of your pelvis, the back muscles and the side body muscles, get really nice stretch here as we do the Sufi grind. Inhale to come forward, open your throat. Exhale back. And then one more circle. Come all the way back to center. So one thing I didn't mention, this, if your knees don't like to be in this position, you could put the soles of your feet together. And if that doesn't feel good either, you could do this with straight legs and find a circular body pattern with that. All right, let's do the other side. You're gonna inhale forward and then move your body towards the other direction. And if you could close your eyes, closing your eyes lets you go to the place of feeling and noticing. And if you can do that and come into your body, just experience this. You inhale when you come forward. You exhale when you go back. Let your body be the guide on what's appropriate. Let's take one more breath. Bringing yourself back to center. Let's do a lateral stretch. So take one hand down, one hand comes up and over, and then bring yourself up and over. So this is laterally flexing the spine. This is one of the, or two of the 6 movements of the spine, going side to side. The hand that goes onto the ground, let that arm bend. Be really light on the hand that's on the floor. So be really light with your hand. You could even come onto fingertips. And then try to keep your arms along the side of your body. So don't let them be too far forward. Don't let them be forward so if they did come over, they would cover your face. Let them be so that they would be alongside your ear and they could never come in front of your face. That's important because you want to minimize flexion in that upper spine when you're doing this. The next time you come over to one side, stay there. The arm that's in the air, and for people with shoulder issues, you could actually have your fingers on top of your shoulders, reaching your shoulder up. And then why don't we all do that? So take your fingers, put your fingers on top of your shoulder, and then reach the elbow up towards the sky. Feel how that lengthens that side even a little more. And then bring yourself back up. Let's go to the other side. If you could take the arm up, take the arm up. And if you need to have your hands on your shoulder to do the whole time, do that. Really feel that stretch in the waist or that whole side. And then let's take our hands on our shoulder and lift that elbow up towards the sky. And then bring yourself back up to center. Let's take one leg straight and one leg is bent like this. So one hip is in extension and one hip is neutral. Take the hand on, so the back of the hand touches the inner leg. Then you're gonna take your hand, spread your hand pretty wide. So I'd like you even here with this hand to reach this hand away from you and then push it into your leg so that you start to feel an upper back stretch on this side. And then your gaze will stay with your thumb the whole time. So when we open up, the gaze stays with the thumb so that you don't have your hand here and your eyes can only go here. I want you to bring in the safe range of motion and rotation in your spine here. So let's begin. Take an exhale and then inhale. Look at your thumb, open up. Exhale to close. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Stay here. Stay here. Reach your fingers away like you're really, really reaching. Feel the stretch on that side of your body. Let that side glute press into your seat. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Let's do the other side. Let's take the other leg straight. Take the back of the hand on the leg and then rotate your upper trunk. So you'll feel that stretch in the upper back maybe. Then take your hand forward. Let's prepare exhale. And let's begin. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Stay here. Feel that stretch. You can push your heart forward, be nice and long in your spine. Breathe down to your lower ribs, feel the belly stretch. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Let's take your legs wide. I'm going to turn to the side just because I don't like to have my legs straight towards the camera in this position. So take your legs wide. For many of you, just being here in and of itself is a deep stretch. Even if your knees are still bent because it's too intense for you or you can't go that wide, just stretching your body glove in whatever way you can. Very important to keep ourselves stretched. For those that are able to go forward, the back stays in its neutral position and the head stays up. That's important. This is not trying to go closer to the floor and bringing my head to the floor and rounding my spine. This is flexing at the hip joint, keeping my head on top of my spine, keeping my spine in its natural curve, and only going as low as my body glove will let me. And for some of you, maybe even coming forward isn't an issue. That's okay, or not available for you. Keep your throat open, keep your head looking forward, keep your head up. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out of that. All right, so I would like to come up to a chair because you'll find yourself sitting a lot these days, and I want to do some stretching that we can do in a chair. So please come up to this position now and bring a leg forward. If you're pretty strong, bring your weakest leg forward. If you have issues with balance, bring your strongest leg forward. So always giving yourself something an opportunity to work something, get stronger where you have weakness. You're going to push your body weight back and then push it forward and push yourself up and away from the chair. Up and away from the floor. We'll get our chairs. And then let's move the blanket off to the side. I'd like you to have a strap, please, and a chair. If you are taller than 5'8", having a folded blanket to sit on will be more comfortable for you. And that's a good practice actually to bring into your day, to sit a little elevated so that you minimize this angle of the joint. And then if you're shorter than 5'2", having something underneath your legs to elevate your feet may feel a little more comfortable for you. So I'd like to work on flexion and extension of the spine. So I'm turning to the side so you can see me. You're going to come away from the back of the chair so that you turn on the back muscles to do this. And I want you to start tilting your pelvis, So can you put your hands on your thighs? You're going to tilt your pelvis forward and then tilt your pelvis back. And a really great way to do this is to bring your awareness to what you're sitting on, which is your pelvic bones. Feel them, feel the pressure on them as you rock forward and backward, as if they were rocking chair legs, and you move from one tip to the other, so that the lower body is where most of this movement happens, and the upper body is not moving a lot. So this is flexion and extension. Because the base of the spine, the sacrum, is embedded in the pelvis, this will start to initiate that movement in the lower body. So we're going to go into a full range of motion, bring that all the way up into the upper spine and the neck. So I want you to come forward into your extension position, and then bring your arms so that your elbows go back even behind your body. This is extension. Open your throat, feel the stretch in your body. This is your inhale. As you come into your exhale, start to feel the rocking chair legs or the seat moving back, so that you start initiating that flexion from the lower spine. If you have osteoporosis, everyone let your hands come forward. If you have osteoporosis, do not round your upper back. But if you don't have osteoporosis, you could find that articulation in your spine. So if you have osteoporosis, only let it stay in the lower version that we did in the beginning of this. And then if you're able to, if you don't have osteoporosis, you want to come into full articulation of the spine through flexion and extension. You can let that upper back and the chin come towards the chest. Exhaling into your flexion, inhaling into your extension. And then one more in each direction, bringing yourself through, stay in that extension for a second, slide the shoulder blades towards each other, lower the shoulders, smile, and then go ahead and take a break. That extension is a really great break to take, putting this into your body. Let's come to the side of the chair. I'd like to do rotation in the chair. It's a nice way to get this strong rotation in the chair. So the rotation happens here at the lower ribs, and the knees stay forward, the hips stay forward. It's the heart that's going to move. So if we have flashlights here, these are your hip lights, it's your heart light. It's the heart lights that move to the side, and the hip lights stay forward, heart lights are to the side. Take a hand on the back of the chair, take the other hand either on that thigh or here if you can. Press your tushy into the chair, belly button back towards the spine. Inhale. As you exhale, the lower ribs towards the chair, the middle ribs, and the upper ribs. You can use your hands here to help accentuate this rotation if that's appropriate. If you do have osteoporosis, this is great for strengthening your spine. It's how we strengthen the spine the most, is through rotation. And to be safe, you need to be lengthened, properly aligned, and press your heart forward so you do not have flexion in your spine when you add that rotation. Breathe down towards the belly. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Let's go to the other side. So move around to your other side. Take your hand in the back of the chair, sit nice and tall, arrange your spine, press your heart forward so there's a little bit of that extension in your upper spine. Inhale. As you exhale, lower ribs, middle ribs, upper ribs move towards the side. If the hands can come, you can bring the hands along. You could press down to get taller, pushing your heart forward. Breathe down to your belly. Smile. And take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Let's come back to center. Grab your strap. I'd like to do a chest shoulder stretch. So you're going to take the strap here. And I want you to watch me for a second, because your shoulder, if you have shoulder issues, your shoulder is going to tell you, no way, I'm not doing that. So I want you to listen to your body right now when you watch me. This is going to be up, no bend on the elbows, and the arms come all the way back. Okay, so there's no bend in the elbows. What I observe with people is this: one elbow bends to let it go back, I don't want any bend in the elbows. And if your shoulders aren't gonna let you do this, you could come onto your chair in this position here, which is called camel, stretching your chest and your shoulders. Okay, so your hands will be towards the back. I just wanted to show you that side. Okay, you're gonna bring your arms up, reach up, and then reach back. So we did a lot to stretch the shoulder chest area in the beginning of class today. I find that there are a lot of issues in our upper back and neck area and chest area. So really getting that range of motion in the shoulders and keeping that stretch is really important. Let's do one more. And stay back here. Take one more breath. And then bring your arms up. I like to do a side angle in the chair. I find this very therapeutic myself for my hip issues. So I like us to do this. You're gonna turn to the side, and this is where you really need no arms. And when I'm in class, definitely the chairs have no arms because they're these folding chairs. So I'd like you, and you could even turn the chair to the side so that only an edge of the chair is on, your thigh is being supported. Try to get that back leg straight. Try to find this position in your body. So it can be a challenge for people to find all of this range of motion, even seated in the chair, because we're down pretty low. Just see what you can get. Let's take the arms up, and then you're gonna bend that front arm. Bring your arm on top of your thigh, and bring your other arm up in the sky. Make sure that the pinky toe edge of that back leg is touching, and try to keep that leg straight. That's a challenge for a lot of people. If you can, take your arm to your inner leg, rotating your trunk forward so that your heart faces forward. And then if you can, reach your arm up and over, stretching that entire side. Now, for those of you that wanted a little bit more strength, you could actually lift up off the chair, if that's available to you, and come into the side angle away from the chair. So just a little extra bonus for those that want to do that. Otherwise, you stay supported by the chair. Take one more breath. And then let's bring ourselves out. We're going to go to the other side. So let's come to the other side. If you do keep the chair there, if you bring the knee towards the back edge of the chair, I find that that's where people are able to get a little bit more length in that back leg, because it's hard for a lot of people to get that back leg straight. So finding whatever is appropriate for you. And then it even helps sometimes to bring that back leg forward. So just trying to get these angles in the body, that internal rotation of that back hip, and then that external rotation of that front hip. Come into this, let's bring your arms up, and then bend that front arm. Bring your hand on top of that thigh, and then bring your arm up. I find this to be very correcting for pelvis and spine relationship. It's a relationship of the pelvis and the spine. Bringing your arm on the inside if you can or would like to. Lengthen your spine here. Let your spine be nice and long. If you want to reach your arm up and over, you can do that as well. And then, of course, if you want to come all the way up away from the chair to come into the work aspect, the muscular aspect of this, you can do that as well. Or stay down. Take one more breath. And then let's bring ourselves up. Let's bring yourself all the way back to the chair. Let's do a little bit for the neck. So nice release for these 7 bones here, the cervical spine. Get nice and tall. Inhale. As you exhale, only let the chin come down towards the chest. So you're not rounding or moving the upper spine, only the head and neck. Inhale, teeth are together. Let your chin move all the way up towards the sky. Feel the stretch on the neck. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, chin to sky. Bring yourself back to center. Get nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, let your ear reach up towards the sky. Come back up to center. Feel that deep stretch in your neck. Ear on the inhale is reaching up towards the sky. And you may not get a lot of bend in your neck here. So this is not a natural movement, and unless this is something you do often, I notice that there's a limited range of motion for many in this direction. And then bring yourself back to center. A little rotation as you let just your head move from side to side, trying to look as far back without moving your body, and trying to look at eye level. Don't look down, and go slow so you don't get motion sickness. And then bring yourself back to center. So let's take a big breath. Open your mouth and sigh. One more time, inhale. All right, it's time for Shavasana. If you have the chair, it would be nice to end the practice in a chair. And it's also nice to end the practice with a nice support. So I'm gonna add a little blanket to my chair to make it nice and comfortable, and the blanket to the top of the mat. So come down into whatever position you are going to be in for your Shavasana, bringing yourself all the way onto the floor. If you want to bring your knees into your chest one last time to arrange your body in any particular way, do that. And then go ahead and bring yourself into final rest, Shavasana.
Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bringing your awareness to your hands and your feet as you start to bring movement into the hands and the feet. And then to the knees and the elbows as you draw the knees into the chest. Rolling onto your right side, and then using the hand to push away from the floor. Bringing yourself up to a seated position. Try to stay in the place of eyes closed or gaze minimized if you can. We're going to close the practice with sound. It's our human sound on an exhale, coming from the lower, the middle, and the upper ribs. Let's take its om, ah, oo, So bring your awareness to your breath. Let's prepare. Take an exhale, and then a deep inhale down to your lower ribs. We bow our heads to each other in namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you feel what we did today as we lubricated our body, increased our range of motion in our joints, freed up a lot of that tension and congestion in the body, and hopefully increase your body awareness. Because when we can listen to what this body tells us is appropriate or not, we could stay in a place of mobility a lot longer in our lives and not be fearful of movement. So thank you. All right, let me see. Hi, Sharon. Nice to see you here. Great, Rosemary, Michael, you're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. Lauren, Sharon. Yeah, so let's use it so we don't lose it. That's it. That's our motto. Use it so we don't lose it. All right. Thank you. I am off, and I will see you all next week or tomorrow or Saturday or whenever it is you practice with me. Look on YouTube. I uploaded 3 videos that I edited. One of them is a stress management class. 2 of them are osteoporosis, and they are all 12 of Dr. Fishman's poses. That one of them, I start from the floor to the standing, and the other one is from standing to the floor. So they're really great practices for strengthening all aspects of us, our bones, our muscles, and I uploaded those this weekend. So those are none of the entry relaxation, maybe a little bit, a couple of breaths, but really it's the full practice, and it's about an hour each practice. And then the stress management as well. Like if you like, subscribe if you would like, share with your friends. And thank you. Kathy, yes, so great to have you here. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and I'll see you in another class. Bye.